Hi students, I welcome all of you to the video lessons class 11. So what we are going to see? Can you guess? See, today we are going to learn a new thing about developing the language. If you want to develop a language for any language, if you want to have a fluency, any language, if you want to speak and write, what do you want? Yes, the grammar part. Very good. See, you guess all. Some of you guess exactly, very correctly. Okay, I hope all of you are safe at your house. So, be ready to watch this grammar video. So, don't think that grammar is very hard. No, grammar is not at all hard. Okay, if you learn it properly, it is the easiest one in English. Not only in English, any language. Even in Tamil, grammar is, if you learn with much interest, with much enthusiasm, it is easy for you. Don't worry. So, many of you had their wrong illusion that grammar is very tough. No. And other part, grammar is an interesting part. So, in grammar, today we are going to see reported speech. What do you mean by reported speech? There are two types of reported speech. One is direct speech and the another is indirect speech. Direct or indirect, both are okay. Direct speech, somebody say indirect, okay. But a normal pronunciation you use here, don't worry. Direct speech. What do you mean by direct speech? For example, I say something, okay. You do not change the actual words spoken by me and say it to another friend. That is called a direct speech. See, whom am I? The teacher. Okay. Now I say, the teacher said, comma, inverted comma, the sun rises in the east. The teacher said, I shall teach you direct speech and indirect speech. Now, you say the same thing to your friend. Today, a teacher has come on the TV. He is teaching. He said that he was going to teach grammar. See, I am teaching grammar. That is the actual word spoken by the speaker. That is the teacher. Okay. But when you say it to your friend or to your mother or to your father, you report it. Okay. Report is not in the sense of complaining. Okay. Report here, you convey the information conveyed by somebody to the third person. See, now I talk with you. I am the speaker. You are all sitting in front of TV and listen to this video session. You are all listeners. So here, direct speech and indirect speech needs two persons. One is speaker, that is myself, and the another is listener, that's you. Now I think you understood it. So introduction is very important. Okay, so watch this video with much alertness. So don't deviate. This is not watching some type of movie. No, this is virtual class. This is a classroom. So be attentive. Okay. If you listen to this video attentively, I can assure that you will get full marks in this section. You have 2 marks for this. Okay. I give you assurance. Don't worry. I give you assurance. I promise you that you will get 2 marks. Full marks. But the careful listening is indispensable, is essential, is important. Careful listening is important. So now let us go to this direct speech and indirect speech. Okay. See, look at that image. So reported speech, direct speech, and another is the indirect speech. 2 types of speech. How can we narrate spoken words? So in 2 ways. We can narrate spoken words in 2 ways. One is direct speech and another is indirect speech. Direct speech repeats the exact words of speaker. Say, the sun rises in the east. You say to your mother, the teacher said, comma, inverted comma, that the sun rises in the east. My father said, if you score above 90%, I will buy you a bicycle. So this is direct speech. Reported speech, that is the indirect speech, another name of that Indirect speech, it conveys something that was said in the past. See, now you are listening to this video, you are learning grammar. Your father will come in the evening, and as soon as he arrives, you say, Papa, today I watched the video, Pa. There one person, one teacher, okay, he taught us direct speech and indirect speech. In that, he said that he would promise to score full marks in this section if I listen to it properly. Said in the past. So now I told you everything in the past tense. That is very important. Okay. We say, Father, that the teacher said that he had promised to score full marks in the grammar section if I listen to it properly. Understand the tense. All the verbs are in past tense. Okay. So that is indirect speech or reported speech. Now is it clear for you? So if you use the actual words, exact words of the speaker, it is direct speech. If you report it in the past tense, without changing any meaning, it is indirect speech. Clear? Okay. Shall we go to the next one? Good. I will give you an example. God said to man, you are my beloved son, in whom I rejoice. Here we have two parts. Before comma, that is one part. Okay. Reporting part, that is called a reporting part, that is a speaker, listener. God said to man, that is the first part. Here, who is the listener? Man. Who is the speaker? God. Okay, so God is the speaker and man is the listener. So God said to man is the first part, that is called the reporting part. Then within quotes, you are my beloved son, in whom I rejoice. This is reported part. You are beloved, my beloved son, whom I rejoice, is reported part. So understand, one reporting part, another reported part. So this is called a direct speech. In indirect speech, you combine, you join both the reporting part and the reported part. Clear? Very good. Shall we go to the next one? See, now how we will change. Actually, there are rules and regulation, but just for example, I will give you one sentence and then I will tell you, I will clearly explain you, don't worry. I will clearly explain you the rules and regulations of changing direct speech to indirect speech. Okay. Father said to his son, look at the sentence. I read, listen to me very carefully. Father said to his son, my son, you are brought up well and I believe in your character wherever you go. So this is direct speech. How will you identify the direct speech? Very first, bear it in your mind about the punctuation marks. That is comma within two quotes, double quotes or inverted comma. It is called as double quotes or inverted commas. Okay. So if a sentence is enclosed by inverted commas, it is called a direct speech. Understand? Good. Now I am going to change it into indirect speech or reported speech. Both are one and the same. So instead of said to, I write here told. So father is the speaker, his son is the listener. Father told his son. Okay. That. What is that? That is the conjunction here, because you are going to combine two parts of sentences by using a conjunction. Conjunction is nothing but a joining word. Already in the previous classes, in the lower classes, you might have been taught about parts of speech. That is the seventh part of speech is conjunction, joining word. So here we use that. Later in the same video session, we will see what are the conjunctions to be used for each kind of sentence. Okay, now don't confuse yourself, just to listen to it. Father told his son that. Now, my son is a form of address, you need not repeat it. It's a form of greeting or address. Okay, you need not repeat it. You, look at that word, pronoun you, he changes to he, because you always refers to the listener. It should be changed into according to the gender of the listener. What is the gender of the listener? Is masculine gender. Suppose it is daughter, feminine gender. Okay. So, since it is masculine gender, you must write he. Okay. Then present tense. Always I told you, present tense should be used in direct speech. But past tense should be used in indirect speech. So, change or into past tense. Normally, the past form of the verb or is where only. But since the subject is singular here, what is the subject here? The pronoun he. It is singular, you have to write was. So he was brought up well. Very well or well, okay. And he believed, again, I. The I refers to the speaker, that refers to father, so he. Suppose mother said to his son means, what you have to change? She. Very good. See, good. Oh, how sharp you are. Very good. So, mother means she, father means he. So, he believed. Believe is present tense. So, past is believed. In whose character? Your, that is his son's character. So, it is again refers to the listener. So, his character. Wherever he go, again went. You, he, and go went. Okay. So, this is indirect speech. Remember that indirect speech should not have any punctuation mark except the full stop or point, we can see. So there is no other punctuation mark, okay, except the point or full stop. I think you understood it. Now let us go to the next one. Let us see the rules and examples. Very important. If you understand it properly, you are the king maker of transforming direct and indirect speech. Don't worry. But you must be what? Very, thorough with these rules and examples. Okay. Now, let us see one by one. While changing a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, so you have to consider the following. What are the things you have to consider? First, you have to identify the speaker. Who is the speaker? One who speaks is the speaker. So now, who is the speaker? Yes, myself. Okay, I am the speaker. Who is the listener? Yes, you are the listener. One who listens to the speaker. You are just sitting in front of the TV and listen to me very carefully, I hope. So, okay. I think it is very interesting, no? So, I'm not boring you. Okay. I promise that I will never bore you. Don't worry. Okay, listener, one who listens to the speaker. And then third one, you find out the reporting verb, that is which is in the first part of a sentence, that is in the reporting part, that is before comma. Before comma, easy to remember before comma. That is called reporting verb. And then you have to identify the person, first person, second person and third person. Only first person and second person should be changed. If it is third person, no need to change it. Okay, so you have to bear it in mind all the four: speaker, listener, a reporting verb, and the person in the reported part. And then fifth one, reported verb, that is which is used in the reported part. Said to. Okay, it may be changed into told or asked or requested or commanded or ordered or exclaimed, or whatever it may be, depend upon the type of the sentence that we will see in the later, the next session of the same session. In the later part of this video, don't worry. And certain words denoting time and place. Okay, adverbial of time and adverbial of place. That you have to keep it in mind. Quotation mark, question mark, and exclamatory marks. See, double quotation. If it is an interrogative sentence, if it conveys, ask a question, it should be ended with a question mark, interrogation, mark of interrogation. And if it is an exclamation of sentence, it should end with a mark of exclamation. Okay. In Tamil, we say Achariya Kuri. Yes. Then eighth point, above all, when a sentence is given, it should be identified whether it is a statement, a double-edged question, or verbal question, or an imperative sentence, or an exclamatory sentence. In the previous classes, in the lower classes, you might have been taught 4 kinds of sentences. It is a statement, interrogative. In interrogative, you have 2 types. One is double-edged question, and another is the verbal question or yes or no question. Verbal question is nothing but yes or no question. Don't think that is verbal question is very new to me. No. Yes or no question. That is the thing. Okay. The sentence which starts with the what, when, where, why, who, which, how. They are all known as double-edged question. And if the sentence starts with the questions like do, does, did, have, has, had, is, am, or was, were. Do, does, did, have, has, had, is, am, or was, were. 11 verbs. They are all known as yes or no type. Why? Suppose I ask you, do you have your breakfast? Yes, sir. Did you have your breakfast? Yes, sir, I had. Okay. So these are yes or no. Suppose you didn't have your breakfast, you say no, sir, I didn't. Okay. So, or an imperative sentence. Imperative sentence is a sentence which orders or commands or advises or requests something. Okay. The officer said, be punctual. This is an order. The colonel said, march fast quickly. It is a command. I said to my teacher, please help me in learning direct speech to indirect speech. That is a request. Father said to his son, don't watch TV unnecessarily except Kalvi channel. So don't watch other channels except Kalvi channel. Your father, your parents always ask you to watch useful programs. You can watch news. You can watch educational channels like this. So imperative sentence. This is a form of advice. This is a form of advice. Suppose you go to Taj Mahal. Immediately what you will say? Oh, what a wonderful monument the Taj Mahal is. You used to say that is exclamatory sentence. That is exclamatory. So if you ask, if you inform something, it is called a statement. If you ask a question, it is interrogative. If you advise or request or command or order, it is an imperative. If you exclaim something happily or sorrowfully, it is an exclamatory. Understand? Okay. Next one, how to identify this sentence. That is very important. Sir, you say all the 4 types, but I have a big problem. How to identify? I will help you. Don't worry. I am for here to help you only. So need not worry about anything. Okay. Statement. It is also called as declarative, assertive. Okay. Other names are statement, declarative sentence, assertive sentence. It has a subject and verb with a point or full stop. Okay. I love the humanity the most. So you convey something. So that is called a statement. You describe something, you state something, and that is statement. You assert something, that is assertive sentence. Okay. I love my parents, said James. So that is another thing. I love my parents, said the James. I love my parents is one of the example of statement. Okay. Second one, interrogative. That is 2 types of interrogative. I already told you. One is double H question. Good. So double H question, already I told you what? The words, double H words are who, whom, whose, what, when, where, which, how long, how far, how much, and how many. All these things are called double H questions. So my mother said to me, when will you come to see us? Suppose you are staying in hostel. So you ask her, when you will come to see us? I said to my friend, how are you? So these are all, the first one is double H question since it starts with the word where, when. The second is also is an interrogative double H question because it starts with the how. So both are double H question. So I hope you understood. So I shall move to the next one. Yes or no type question, otherwise known as verbal questions. Very good. So here already I told you 11 auxiliary verbs. Do, does, did, have, has, had, is, am, or was, were. Understand? So these are all yes or no type question or verbal question. They are also known as auxiliary verbs. So Akash said to Shivani, will you spare some time to explain this sum? If you say, Akash, ask Shivani, okay, will you spare some time to explain? So Shivani replies, yes, I will. No, I can't. I won't. This is yes or no type question. Okay. Renu said to me, do you like to have some coffee? So auxiliary verbs, am, is, or, was, were, do, does, did, have, has, had, shall, will, can, could, may, might, even modals also you can use. Can you help me? No, sorry, I can't help you. So I say, no. Can you help me? Yes, with pleasure. This is yes. Okay, agree. So even modal auxiliaries also come under yes or no type questions. Understand? So next one, the third one, I already told you imperative sentence. It may be a request, it may be a command or order, it may be an advice or warning, even warning. So if you say to a child, 5-year-old child, don't go near the fire. Don't go near the fire because the child doesn't know it is dangerous to go near the fire. So it's a warning. See, now let us see one by one the order. What is the example for the order? The passerby said to the old man, be careful, there is a live wire. It may be a warning also. Okay, it may be a warning also. Ajit said to his mother, permit me to join a music class. It's a request. Permit me. Please. There is not necessarily please should be that. No. Even you permit me to join the music class because you have what they call all accommodatability with your mother, all the rights with your mother. So you can ask in a relaxed way, in an informal way. So no use to use please. Even though you don't use the word please, it is request only. Selvam said to his mother, please mom, come to my house and stay with us. Okay. So this is request. So order and request we have seen. Advice. The doctor said to the patient, shake this medicine before use. Suppose a doctor prescribes a cough syrup. So before use, it must be shaken well. So shake this medicine, shake this syrup. Okay. The old mother said to her son, don't work in the hot sun for a long time. This is a kind of advice. See, the mother is concerned on her son. Don't work in the hot sun for a long time. So in between, take rest. The old man said to the passerby, be careful. There is a stray dog over there. Passerby, one who passes there. Be careful, there is a stray dog over there. What do you mean stray dog? A type of, what do you call it? It may bite. Hmm? The police said to the celebrants, beware of thieves and keep your possessions safe. Suppose you go to a crowded place. Nowadays, you don't go to crowded places. No crowding. Crowd should be allowed nowadays. Okay, because it's very dangerous to gather more than 50 persons at a single time. So he said, look, you have to be very careful. That is also a kind of warning. The last one, that is, what is the last one? Exclamatory sentence. Here, interjunction is used. Interjunction is used. A sentence which exclaims something is called exclamatory sentence. It ends with a mark of exclamation. See, at last, see in the first sentence you full stop told to. Second type of sentence interrogative, a question mark is there. And the third type imperative, again you have full stop. It starts with the verb. Even though it starts with the verb, it has a subject you. Okay. And the last one, exclamation mark. Okay. The players shouted, hooray, we have won the match. Alas, he has broken his promise this time too. See my intonation. Look, notice my intonation. Look at my intonation. Watch this. Hooray, we have won the match. See, out of joy, I express it. At the same time, alas, a falling intonation. Alas, he has broken his promise this time too, she said. The tourist said, what a wonderful monument the Taj Mahal is. What a wonderful monument. The Taj Mahal, out of happiness, out of joy, he expressed. Okay. The girl said, how slim he is. This is also maybe out of joy or out of appreciation. A kind of exclamation. Understand? So, exclamatory sentences always end with what? Mark of exclamation. Clear? Good. Now, let us see the statement. Example. The boy says, my parents are very precious for me. Everyone. Not only for me, but also for you. Everyone in the world. Parents are very precious. So, this is called a direct speech. How do you identify that direct speech? Since it is enclosed with a quoted, inverted commas or quotes. Okay, now you are going to change it into indirect speech. Since the reporting verb is in the present tense, don't change it. The boy says only. If it is said only. So don't change. The boy says that, conjunction you need, so that. My parents, his parents. So since it is a possessive, so his parents, third person. Or don't change the tense here because the reporting verb is in the present tense. So the reported verb also should be in the present tense. It should be in the same tense. No change of tense is permitted here. The boy says that his parents are very precious, valuable. For me, again, me refers to the boy speaker, so him. Okay. Now I will tell you what are the changes in the verb form. See, on maximum you will be given present form of the verb in direct speech. So you must change it according to the tense. Depend upon the tense in the direct speech, you must change into the indirect speech to their corresponding past tense. If it is simple present tense, you must change it to simple past tense. Present continuous, past continuous. If it is in past tense, most probably you will be asked this past tense in the examination. So be careful. If the direct speech is given in the past tense, for example, the teacher said, I went to Chennai yesterday. Is it possible without e-pass? No. So anyway, just an example only. I never went to Chennai. Don't worry. Don't think that I went to Chennai. I am always safe in home. Okay. And like me, you must be also safe. Okay. So if it is in past tense, you must change it to past perfect. Past perfect tense. If it is future tense, it should be would plus present, past future. Present perfect, you must change into past perfect. If it is past perfect, the past perfect only. But it is most probably you don't have this type of sentences. And then future perfect, would you have to add present perfect. And then present continuous. Present continuous, past continuous. And then past continuous, past perfect continuous. Future would be plus ing form. Present perfect, past perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous tense should be changed into past perfect. So, corresponding tenses. So, don't worry, very easy only. If it is past perfect, there is no change. The same thing, past perfect continuous. If it is past perfect continuous, don't worry, no change. You need not change. You can write as it is in the same tense. Future perfect continuous, you must change into would have been plus ing form. Okay. Now, let us see the example. Let us see the example one by one, how to change. tenses. And this I already told you, present tense, past tense, everything. Now, with the help of the verb, go, for example, go. Okay. For example, go or goes. What is the tense form of the verb? What is the tense go? Present tense. It is a present tense. Okay. Go, went. Past tense, went. Even goes for also went. And then am going, was going. Is going also was going. Are going, were going. Since am is used for the first person, I am going, he was going. He is, you are going, he were going. He was going. Okay, they were going like this. And then have or has gone. Have or has gone should be changed into had gone. Should be changed into had gone. And then have or has been going, had been going. Have been going, had been going. Has been going also changed into had been going. But if it is in the past tense, went, had gone. Already I told you, if it is in the simple past tense, you must change into past perfect, that is went, had gone. Okay. Was or were going, it is past continuous tense. It should be what do you call? Past perfect continuous. So had been going. And then had gone, there is no change because it's a past perfect, so no need to change anything. Had been going, the same thing, no change. Will or shall go, would go. So don't think shall, the past form of shall, should, don't change into should go. It is also would go only. Okay, so bear it in mind. Shall changes to would only. And then will or shall have gone, would have gone. Okay, will have gone, would have gone. Shall have gone, would have gone. Now let us see the changes in the pronoun. What I mean by pronoun? Instead of noun, we are using it. Okay. So, if you have the pronoun in the first person I in direct speech, you must remember that the pronoun I refers to the speaker. So, then look at the speaker, look at the gender of the speaker. If it is a male speaker, change into he. Murugan, he only. Okay. Peter, he only. If it is a female, it must be changed into she. Okay. Radhika, Raga. Okay. Radhika, Raga. Okay. She, it should be changed into she. Okay. Sir, in the question itself, I only sees that. No problem. I, the same thing. Don't worry. Understood this session properly. Thank you for your patience hearing, and we will meet you in the next session with more examples and exercise. Thank you, students. Bye-bye.